Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Rowley of the Wonder of Human Design YouTube channel, and this is the playlist Are You Ready for Your Next Growth Period? This is episode 6, and the question we're asking and going to answer here is, can I use a growth period for spiritual validation? I'm going to guess the answer is yes, based on what she said at the end of video number 5. But let's see, maybe there's more to it than we know. So a growth period, if you haven't watched this series from episode 1 through now, my series are best watched in that way on YouTube. My playlists are best watched from the first video to the end. They make more sense. It's kind of like reading a book. But if you haven't and you're just clicking onto YouTube and you've never seen my work or you have no idea what I'm talking about, you do a healing, you take out something that's unnecessary, and your soul brings in a new flavor and a new energy and a new vibration. And then after that, it's called a growth period. You're kind of shifting, changing, and being aware of energy on a different level. You are growing, literally, and changing. And we are multidimensional and multivibrational. And so it's happening on a lot of levels beyond just this linear body and morning to night level that we think is our everyday reality, or we know is our everyday reality that we live and breathe within. So let's see what she has to say about that, because if there's another way to use a growth period, I'm up for that. Let's do it. Okay, sorry for all the reflection. Let me take this off. I know it's distracting, but the sun's coming around and I do the best I can. I'm not ready for a studio. I just like a living environment. I like to know nature's outside. I like the plants, the juiciness. I like the light changing. I just think it's real. Okay, and I'm very lucky that so far I've been able to do this way without too much interference. I hope my voice is staying in. Okay, here we go. Good day to you, dearest beings of light. If you're new, I'm Ellie in the Out of Cosmic Service. I'm a Palladian mother of sound that this one chose to let channel through her for the implied energy, for the way I phrase things, and for the energy work that she's bringing forward. And that was her choice. Channeling is a choice. She never wanted to do it. She wasn't comfortable with it, but she just said, you know what? This really seems like it sort of goes with the package, so I'm going to do it. And it does. Okay, she was contemplating whether she should have done that the other day and today. But it does. It's part of the picture and part of the package. Okay, so can you use a growth period, which is a sort of like a realignment, a recalibration, a new energy space? Some people say, oh, it's like jumping a timeline. I'm now in a completely different world. Some people say it is like, I know that's gone and I'm different. Some people think and say that I knew something changed. I know it happened, but now I'm wondering if it's true and real. And that's very common after healing, to go back into doubt on whether you were really healed. And that's kind of human nature until you get more and more confident of your spiritual nature and you work with it. So what else is within a growth period? Because this is something no one's ever talked about. And that's an interesting question. Because this one has felt like there's waves, and she's also felt like there's literally a couple different spaces that you move through, and you do. And what is it? Well, even before these connections were made, your Christ healing spirit body that you have, that in the previous paradigm was connected to the Christ consciousness, and it would be moving through different aspects of the higher self, the soul, and the consciousness energy fields, why it cleaned up, repaired, and rid old energy. So that means that your soul is moving through and working in a lot of spaces with its connection through divine intelligence in its healing paradigm beyond what you know in your body, which is why you can give sleep suggestions at night for healing, because your soul's off, enmeshed in divine intelligence, working for the greater good of all, even if you don't know it. It's kind of like the Earth package. If you come in and you sign up for that, part of the package is until you're fully evolved and you're no longer in an unconscious sleep state, the planet and the higher creational beings, angels and archangels, use your soul's forces at night, all of you, for work and healing. And this has been talked about before by other adepts who have brought forward information in the past, such as Rudolf Steiner, Edgar Cayce, Lee Carroll Cryon has talked about it. I could probably name about 20 other sources, but we're just going to name the ones that this one has read a lot of, just for ease. But in Europe, there's some different readers people have never heard about that people read and la 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 la. So that's part of the divine intelligence. They always percolate the information around the globe through various people, and it's all kind of similar. And it comes in waves of epochs, exactly what it's all about, and it's all very similar. And it's purposeful. The same way people say that when an invention is coming through from the creative source and humans are in that field and they have an antenna up and they happen to be open in the right moment, in the right space, in the right time, several people can pick up on a new invention at the same time. Well, it's the same with the spiritual healing paradigm and people in that realm. That these things can happen to this information of a higher order that the Creator wants in during certain periods of time can come through several people all at once. And that should be a comfort and a validation that the information is perhaps coming through source. Now, there's a difference between copycatting and bringing in new information, and most people have a sense of that. Okay, so what else goes on in that growth period then? Your soul is also out in the greater field doing a realignment with your soul group. Your soul is also on the 3 grids doing alignment to those grids. And of course, then you down here, you feel like it's gone, or you're different, or it's changed, or you don't feel that sadness, that heaviness, that pain, or you can live with it better because some of it got moved. Because sometimes, as we have recently said, you need to work through a particular complex over a series of years, because some of them are enmeshed more in the creational level and they take a little longer to work out. So the paradigm means that in the new paradigm with these upgrades you just got, your soul has juicier information why it works in all these areas, because it used to work in all these areas up at the soul level anyway. But now these golden akashas are connected, all of them, into this system. And now your soul can bring in different kinds of experiences and feelings from different golden akashas. And we have said this. I believe we even said it in the last series, How to Work with Your Spirit Guides. And in this series, Are You Ready for Your Next Growth Period? It kind of plays off that a little bit. So your ability to work with your spiritual nature and work with your soul has now increased from these activations. So now you can ask your soul that you need an experience, a validation, a feeling, or a consciousness aha of intuition, and to give it to you the way the soul believes is the most appropriate. So begin to ask your soul more and more for validation that you've been healed, that this is true and real, that you do have a spiritual nature, that particular experience you had was real, and you can know it. Is there something you need to heal to get those blocks out of the way so you can feel confident in your knowing? What is that? Why do we doubt after we've had a spiritual experience that it could be true and real? They're blocks from your past when everyone around you negated that and wouldn't believe you. And everyone has those experiences, even in real life. So these are just hung up old Akashic pictures from your old heart-filled karmic Akash that are percolating up. So ask your soul now for new levels of validation. So we're asking for the new connections. We're asking for the soul to come into the influx of the new connections. We're playing in this video series of Are you ready for your next growth period with the idea of playing with the soul now and asking the soul to give validation? And we're just further explaining that topic here of all the different levels now that the soul can give validation in, that we just that we just stated a minute ago. And we're not going to repeat because this one's going to get nervous about naming a list. So if you need to hear that again, just go back to the video. Certain times after a lot of taping, we just want to keep things running along smoothly. Okay, she gets a little uptight with numbers and lists and names. And she's working through that block. Okay, so that's what we wanted you to know. Your ability for your soul to bring in validation is stronger in a growth period, and your ability to bring in different types of soul validation is now more cohesive, and your ability for you to feel that is going to increase more and more over the next 4 years. Peace be with you. You are dearly loved. Expect benevolence in all you do, and we bid you adieu. And this is Dr. Wendy of the Wonder of Human Design YouTube channel, the creator, inspirator, and bold pioneer bringing this work forward. Peace be with you, and I'll see you in the next episode.